our good ball just wasn't up to standard, wasn't good enough, and it let them off the hook and puts too much pressure on your defence at the end.
Do you think that your team looked a bit tentative in attack, just not wanting to try as much as, not putting their plays on that they probably normally would?
Oh, I just thought our attack was ordinary, to say the least.
Is it a mental thing, Trent? Like, is that the problem? They just, the mentality isn't there, confidence is shot. Is that the...
No, look, I don't think... no, I don't think so. Look, it's the NRL. That's the standard. We expect when we do get down there to execute what we've been practicing, and we didn't. And in turn, we're putting too much pressure on ourselves defensively at the back end of the game, and as was last week, missing one-on-one tackles that individuals need to make.
Who needs to stand up, Trent? Who needs to take control of that attack and actually just get some direction and some decisive plays happening?
It's everyone, mate. There's nothing wrong with the system, but littered through it, if someone misses their job or isn't committed to what they're doing and their role, it's the same defensively. Your attacking system will break down if every individual in the team isn't doing their job, and it's the same defensively. Yeah.
Trent, I know it'll take time, but how onerous is this rebuilding task for you?
Yeah, it's look, we knew what we were getting into, I suppose. But the biggest thing is I can't. It'd be easy for me to throw everything out the window. But we've just got to stick to the process and keep working hard. There's things obviously we're really disappointed in that game. There's some good things in there as well, in terms of, intent and hanging in and character for an hour. But that's a given in the NRL, There's other things that you need to do well, and you need to execute. You need to get your plays on, and that's what the NRL is. It's a combination of effort. You can't just win on effort alone. You've got to fix. You've got to fix a lot of things, and at the moment, we're not giving ourselves a chance to win.
Is that the challenge when you're at the club for the first year, finding the right players who will deliver the system that you want week in, week out?
Yeah, it's part of the challenge. There's a lot, but I can't focus on that. We need to focus on improving it and how we can fix the certain parts of the game. There'll be certain periods where we're doing things really well, offensively or defensively. Not too much in attack tonight. There's a bit of good push around that middle third of the field, but we let ourselves down when we had opportunities to put Brisbane under some pressure and put them to the sword in the second half, and we didn't. And that's the most disappointing thing, that we had an opportunity to win that game and couldn't do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Brendan Peake here, I know that it seemed like he was on the way to the Dogs.
Yep.
What's the latest? Kevy was saying there was an announcement shortly.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay at Brisbane, yeah.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah. Disappointed, because it looked like you had him at one point, didn't it, from the way negotiations?
Yeah, it did, yeah. And he's a really good young player, Brendan, and a good kid, and I wish him all the best. Disappointed, but he's, he'll stay here, yeah.
What did you like about him as a player, Trent?
Look, he's athletic, he's big, he can do everything. Brendan, and a lovely kid from a lovely family, and they've got themselves a good player.
You obviously had, this is definitely an opportunity to get a win on the board for you guys. What were you thinking when you saw that? I imagine both coaches weren't very happy with the first half. What were you thinking as you saw that unfold? There's so many errors, there's just not much energy. What was going on?
Probably, the first half probably reflected where we were both teams were sitting, to be honest, at 2-0. It was probably a pretty dour affair. But as I said, the most disappointing thing was we had chances there to win the game there in the second half and didn't. And that's something I've got to address this week.
Do you have enough pressure coming from below with the depth you've got there to make some changes? Or?
Yeah, that's a challenge. But something we'll look at tomorrow, yeah.
Your halves, Trent, there's obviously problems there that you're aware of trying to get guys over. But
yep.
What did you think of them tonight?
Yeah, again, as a whole, I thought your halves are pretty easy to blame when the attack falls down, but there's a hell of a lot needs to go on around a halfback that needs to happen for him to play well as well. I think we saw in patches in round 1 and 2 that Kyle played very well. You know, against Newcastle, he was probably one of the better players on the field. But there's a lot of things that need to happen around a good halfback for him to be able to showcase his talents too. So certainly not saying that he could have done a few things better tonight too, Kyle. But the attack revolves around 13 people on the football field, and if your middles aren't doing their job, or your hooker's not doing his job, or your back row's not leading properly, well, the whole thing falls down, and that's where we're at the moment. And we were tonight, certainly.
South Sydney next week, it's obviously going to be a bit of a step up in intensity there. They seem to be going very well at the moment.
Yeah, they are. You know, and we played, Newcastle and Penrith are going to be thereabouts. So, we know what to expect from South. You know, they're playing very well, playing with a lot of confidence and got a lot of good players. But look, it's not going to matter who we play, to be honest. We need to fix our own backyard and fix some things quite quickly, because there's some things in our game that aren't good enough at the moment.
Thought Marshall King had a pretty good opening half.
Yeah.
You happy having him back in the side?
Yeah, it looks like he's broken his foot again, mate, though. So he was going really well. And I thought he ran when we looked a lot better when we were running from dummy half, and Marshall King was doing that, but it looks like he's broken his foot again, so it's not ideal.
Any other injuries?
Don't think so, not at this stage.
What was training like this week, Trent? Do you change anything up? Do you try and freshen things up this week to give him a boost, or how do you play?
Yeah, look, I guess it's keeping the belief there that we just need to keep working hard and keep doing it, and these blokes have been in this position for a while. So that's the thing from our point of view. Pinpoint what we're doing wrong, what we're doing well, but there's times when there's some accountability got to come from the individuals as well, because there's tries there we still could have stopped, and that isn't. That's the standard. That's what we expect at this level. You make your tackles, regardless of how fatigued you are.